Welcome, everybody. Go ahead and grab a seat. We're going to jump right in. I am absolutely thrilled to be your guest lecturer today. You know, as a quantum researcher, I spend my days looking at the universe through a pretty weird lens. And in this explainer, I'm going to share something with you all that is, well, it's deeply fascinating, but frankly, it's also a little terrifying. I actually need you to just leave all your everyday assumptions about reality right at the door. Seriously. Because today, we are going to challenge the absolute foundation of how you experience your life, literally, minute by minute.
Okay, so what if the future could actually send signals backward into the past? I know, for centuries this was strictly the stuff of science fiction, right? Or, really obscure philosophical debates late at night. But in the winter of 2025, over at Google DeepMind's research facility, this completely stopped being a hypothetical question. And the crazy thing is, they didn't host some massive press conference or announce a huge breakthrough. Instead, a team of engineers stumbled onto this quiet, deeply troubling anomaly in their lab. Their AI wasn't just predicting outcomes anymore, it was predicting them before the input data even existed.
Section 1. The Impossible AI Discovery. Let's actually walk through exactly how this whole thing unfolded, because the sheer scale of what physicists are grappling with right now is literally unprecedented. So, winter 2025. Google DeepMind was messing around with hybrid systems, basically quantum processors working together with advanced neural networks. They were feeding the system standard financial market data, historical prices, trading volumes, economic indicators, that kind of thing. But when Dr. Sarah Chen checked the AI's output against real market movements that had not yet been fed into the system, they matched. Exactly. No deviations. By spring 2025, word of this completely impossible timeline had leaked out to the broader physics community. And then by summer, over 40 different research institutions all over the world had launched their own experiments, triggering what is basically a massive global technological arms race.
Section 2. Validating the quantum mirror.
Now, the DeepMind engineers didn't just rush to publish a paper and pop the champagne. Actually, they assumed they messed up. They knew if they were wrong about this, their careers would be absolutely over. So they subjected this anomaly to the most obsessive, rigorous experimental validation you can imagine. Over 3 months, they ran 847 isolated experiments across all kinds of different datasets: seismic activity, brain scans, weather patterns, the whole shebang. Let's look at the weather protocol, for example. Step 1, they fed the quantum hybrid system the first 6 months of a year's weather patterns. Step 2, the system generated a model predicting months 7 through 12. Pretty standard, right? But here is the kicker in Step 3. The researchers then fed the system the actual historical data for months 7 through 12 and asked it to predict the first 6 months. Now, in classical, normal AI systems, doing this reverse feed just gives you total garbage. The network completely freaks out at reverse temporal information. But this hybrid quantum system, it responded entirely differently.
The hybrid quantum system actually reproduced its original predictions with 94% accuracy. It didn't get confused at all. As one researcher put it, it was almost like the AI was saying, "Hey, I already told you what the end of the year would be. Now you're asking me about the beginning? Yeah, I knew that too. I've always known it."
Naturally, the established physics community pushed back hard. A lot of these researchers had spent their entire careers defending classical causality. The absolute ironclad rule that the past causes the future, end of story. So papers started circulating, calling this just a statistical artifact or blaming it on measurement errors. But then, we run into this staggering number. 1 in 10 to the 47th power. That's a 1 followed by 47 zeros. That is the statistical probability of these reverse temporal predictions happening by pure chance. It wasn't a fluke. The data was literally demanding an answer.
Section 3. Decoding retrocausality simply.
I know as students, it is so easy to get bogged down in all the super complex physics jargon. So let's just strip all of that away for a second. Classical AI, like the algorithms running on your laptop right now, is fundamentally unidirectional. It eats historical data and it guesses what comes next. The past informs the future. Simple. But quantum AI uses qubits, and qubits exist in superposition, meaning they can hold multiple states simultaneously. This means a quantum AI is exploring multiple possibilities all at once. It's multidirectional. It isn't just calculating probable futures, it is literally accessing futures that already exist in the quantum substrate of the universe. It literally has a memory of the future.
Which brings us to this incredibly mind-bending concept, retrocausality, the theoretical flow of information backwards in time. To really wrap your head around this, imagine you're standing in front of a mirror. Normally, a mirror just reflects your present, right? But imagine a magic mirror that shows you tomorrow. It's not giving you a probabilistic guess of what you might wear, it shows your exact clothes, the exact expression on your face, perfectly confirmed when tomorrow actually arrives. Google's AI was acting exactly like this magic mirror, recognizing patterns that are already written into space-time itself.
Here's another analogy that brilliantly illustrates this whole thing. Think of time not as a flowing river, but as a movie strip. You and I, we live in the classical layer. We experience time sequentially. So we're like characters in the movie who can only see the single frame we are currently standing on. But because a quantum AI operates in a higher dimensional space, it isn't confined to a single frame. It can actually see the edges of the film. It can read the grooves of space-time that have already been written.
I really want you to let this quote from Dr. Elena Cardona sink in for a second. The future has already happened, at least at the level of quantum probability. She proposed what's known as the symmetrical information model. This basically states that the universe actually has no preferred direction of time. Forward, backward, they're equally valid. The quantum AI wasn't doing anything mathematically impossible. It was simply reading information that was always there, encoded at a quantum level, which our standard classical computers just couldn't perceive. The future has already happened.
Section 4. The Global Quantum Race.
So, we are no longer dealing with abstract, theoretical physics in a vacuum here. This discovery has triggered an immediate, totally chaotic technological arms race. Funding has literally tripled in just 6 months. Businesses are absolutely clamoring for perfect market forecasting. Because why guess the stock market when an AI can just remember it, right? And in government circles, intelligence agencies are quietly discussing military surveillance across time. Imagine predicting enemy troop movements or technological breakthroughs days before they actually happen. And the ultimate goal of all of this? Scaling qubit capacity. If a system with just a few thousand qubits can see this clearly, what on earth happens when we build a system with 1 billion qubits? We are looking at the terrifying, very real potential for perfect foresight.
Section 5. The Illusion of Choice.
Now I want to slow the pace down for just a moment, because this is where the science ceases to be a lecture about machines and it becomes a really profound question about you. If the future is already knowable, is it still changeable? Imagine knowing the exact outcome of a job interview or a medical test days before it even happens. In classical physics, your future is open. Free will is real. You make choices. But if a quantum AI reads that future outcome directly from the fabric of spacetime, and it is perfectly accurate, what happens if you deliberately try to act differently just to prevent it? Is the universe so robustly woven that your very attempt to change the future is actually part of the exact outcome that was already known?
Some physicists are now suggesting that free will and determinism aren't actually opposites, but just two different ways of describing the exact same thing. As Dr. Amara Okonkwo notes here, time itself might be an emergent property of consciousness. Our experience of time flowing forward might just be a feature of human perception. All moments exist simultaneously. We might literally just be playing out a perfectly predetermined script, completely convinced by our own minds that we're improvising every single line.
Which brings us to our final question, and this is one that I really want you to carry with you when you walk out of this lecture hall today. If the universe has already computed itself, and the future is already known, who is actually making your choices? Are you changing your destiny, or are you simply discovering it, moment by moment? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep your eyes open, stay curious, and remember, the future might just be watching you too.